The whole bed was vibrating, like, calm down. You've seen the title of the video. Your girl is back with another story time. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey. And if you're a returning subscriber, I don't even have to say anything because you know what's up, I know what's up, we know what's up, and that's some way. That's on period. Mary had a little lamb. As y'all can see by the title of the video, what am I even gonna title this? Okay, I think I'm gonna title this Sister's Boy. Y'all know the term Mama's Boy.
Man-child milk on chin.
Yeah, we gonna title this Sister's Boy. I was dating this guy that was literally, it's not the guy, the sister was obsessed with her brother and she was very dependent on him. So yeah, that's what we're gonna title this, Sister's Boy. So let me go ahead and get into it. Actually, before I get into this video, make sure y'all go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Do that for your girl. Go ahead and get this video to 2K likes. Thank you. Okay, y'all already know in order for any of my story times to make sense, I have to give y'all a little backstory. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's name him, I don't know why, y'all. I'm hungry right now and I really want some pizza. So we gonna call him I was about to say meats because that's my favorite pizza, but y'all not mature enough. So let's go ahead and call him Pineapple. I don't put pineapple on my pizza, but let's call him Pineapple, y'all. So I met Pineapple back in 2021 and it was 2 weeks after I had moved to Texas. And I think I mentioned him in like previous story times before. If you're not new here, I told y'all I met him at Prospect Park. I was there with my best friend and I think this was like within 2 weeks of me being in the city. I told y'all I was at a bar, he was eating chicken wings. I was wondering what chicken wings should I get, so I asked him like, hey, how's that lemon pepper? And he was just like, it's good. I ordered the chicken wings and I sat at the bar with this man and we ate and we talked about like chicken wings for probably about 20 minutes, y'all. I like chicken, he liked chicken. We bonded over that chicken and I gave him my number before I left that bar and the rest was history. Like that's how me and Pineapple met. Pineapple sounds so fruity, y'all, so I don't even want to, let's change his name to Little Caesars. Let's call him Little Caesars. So I don't know why that name do not sit well with me either, but we gonna just keep it at that because I'm doing too much. Okay, so that's how me and Little Caesars initially met. Also, when I first met him, y'all, he was real attractive. He was a bit older than me, but I had already wrote him off as a, like someone that was just gonna be a good time. I was not trying to date the man, marry the man, really lock in with him. And it was only because he lived in Atlanta, y'all. Like, I had just moved here in the city. I'm not about to lock down with no one, and then two, I'm definitely not about to lock in with no one that lives in Atlanta. Like, I already told y'all I've done long distance before and I just can't do it. Like, I don't know how y'all do it, but people that's able to endure long distance relationship, y'all are some of the strongest people. Like, I can't do it because when I get mad, I be ready to knock on your door. So, you know, I wasn't trying to look for anything exclusive with this man. Look at my best friend calling me. People are always calling me when I'm trying to record. I'm gonna have to call her back. But anyway, y'all, I cannot lock in. I'm not trying to lock in with you if you live in another state, you live in another country. Like, I just cannot do it. So I wrote Little Caesars off as a good time. So fast forward, Little Caesars would come to Houston frequently because like I told y'all in previous story times, he had friends in the city and I had family and friends in Atlanta, but Atlanta is just not a place that I would go to if there's nothing going on. Like if I'm not invited for a birthday or if it's a family event there, I'll go to Atlanta, but I'm not just saying like, woohoo, like let me just go to Atlanta on a random Sunday. But that's how he was about Houston. Like he actually told me he was planning on moving to Houston, so he would be in the city all the time. So anytime he would come to the city, y'all, he would hit my line and say like, hey, I'm in the city, are you available? He would try to hang out with me. And sometimes he would hang out and sometimes he wouldn't. That's kind of like how our relationship was, y'all. We were very just, you know, friends. He was just a good time. Anytime he would come to the city, he would take care of your girl very well. He was just, you know, Little Caesars. He was a good time, baby. He was hot and ready. He was a good time. Fast forward to the first time I went to Atlanta. And when I went to Atlanta, I wasn't planning on seeing Little Caesars. This was back, well, let's fast forward a little bit. This was in, I want to say, I met him in 2021 and in 2022, RP, but my auntie passed away. And her funeral was in Atlanta, y'all, because that's where her kids live at. So I am not good when it comes to funerals, y'all. I don't like funerals. Like, I know it's just something that's a part of life and we have to get through it, but I'm not a funeral girl. I be ready to hop in the ground. I be ready to hop in the casket. Like, I'm just not a funeral person. And a lot of my family was staying at, I don't recall the hotel, but basically we had one of those deals where we were staying at the hotel that was like connected to the church that we had the funeral at and the repast at, and I just didn't want to be like around my family because, like I said, y'all, it was really sad. Like, I was really close to this person that had passed away. Y'all, as soon as I start recording, the sun starts moving, my lighting starts messing up, people start calling me. Please excuse the lighting because I see that the sun is about to hit my face. Please excuse it, y'all. But back to what I was saying, I just did not, I don't want to say I didn't want to be around my family, y'all, because I definitely wanted to be with my family, and I had actually paid to share a room with my auntie. But at nighttime, y'all, I wanted to go out and get my mind away from the funeral and the passing of my aunt. So I hit Little Caesars up and I'm like, hey, I'm in the city, like, what's popping, like, what's going on tonight? And keep in mind, he was planning on seeing me. Like, before I even went to Atlanta, he had already known about me coming to Atlanta for the funeral because, like I said, y'all, we was friends, we would talk frequently. So I had already told him, like, hey, I'm gonna be in your city, but it's not for what you think. I'm just gonna be in your city, you know, dealing with the funeral and being with my family or whatever. But at nighttime, I wouldn't mind, like, you know, getting my head off of all of this. So I called him and, oh, excuse me. I called him and I let him know, like, hey, what's popping, like, what's going on tonight? He came and he picked me up from my hotel, and I don't remember what lounge we went to, but he took me to some little lounge or whatever. We actually went to 2 lounges. He got your girl seafood. Y'all know seafood is my favorite food, and we had hookah and we just vibed, y'all. We literally had a good night. After that, I spent the night to his house. And keep in mind, this is my first time staying at his house. By this point, I want to say we had been friends or in communication, probably. It had been over a year. So from the first moment I met him back in 2021, fast forward to 2022, I can't really recall when my auntie's funeral was. I feel like it was back in like October, November-ish. So it had been, basically it had been a little over a year, and me and him would talk periodically throughout this time. But like I said, y'all, your girl was single. I was seeing people, and I'm sure he was seeing people, but like I said, I didn't care because he was just a good time. This was not someone I was trying to be exclusive with because he lived in another city, and y'all already know how I feel about dating long distance. Y'all, I had to move because that sun was just hitting me. But where was I? Okay, so I'm in Atlanta. I go out to this lounge with him again, and it's pretty much the same thing. We go to another lounge, we get something to eat, hookah, we have a good night. I spend the night to his house, and then he takes me back to my hotel early that morning because my parents were taking me back to the airport. And boom, y'all, I'm back in Houston. That's how my little Atlanta trip went. That was my first time ever going to his spot in Atlanta, and this was after a year of us communicating and being in cahoots. Fast forward to like a week from me leaving Atlanta, he hits me and he's just like, Asia, do you want to go on a work trip with me? And keep in mind, y'all, he would always invite me on these work trips, but I would always say no because he never had a work trip that was in a good location. Also, I'm not going to tell y'all his occupation just in case you see this video, but all I'm going to say is he worked at different airports around the United States, and anytime he had a work trip, he would always invite your girl. And these were nice work trips. Like, the food would be paid for, the rental would be paid for, the hotel would be paid for, all accommodations be paid for. He would pay for everything, and then the company he worked for, they would reimburse him, y'all. But most of the time when he invited me on these work trips, I would always say no because they were never in like good locations. He would be inviting me to like Utah, Wyoming, New Hampshire. It's just like, what am I gonna do up there? Like what is there to do in Wyoming? Look at trees? Like, I'm not about to say yes to a spot that I feel like I won't be comfortable going out by myself because, like I said, y'all, these were work trips. Majority of the time he was going to be at work, and then the daytime I would have been out exploring the city by myself. So a lot of places that he would get stationed to, it was nowhere that it intrigued me or I was interested in, y'all. So I would always say no until one time he got a work trip to San Francisco, and I had never been to California, y'all. And I'm like, okay, I could definitely do San Francisco. Fast forward, that work trip ended up getting canceled, and I just ended up not going Fast forward to the 2 weeks ago that I'm telling y'all about. 2 weeks from when I left Atlanta, he hits me and he's like, Asia, I got a work trip. The work trip is in Miami. You gotta go. And I'm just like, I'm not going. Like, y'all already know how I feel about Miami. I despise Miami. I do not like going to Miami because I've had so many bad experiences. And he always tells me like, oh, but if you go to Miami with me, we gonna have a good time. Like, you go to Miami with people that don't have no money, that's why you be having a bad time in Miami. That's what he always tells me. And I'm just like, I just feel like Miami is overrated. I'm sorry if you're from Miami, but I just don't care to go to Miami. So that's what I'm telling him. And he was just like, please, let's go to Miami. Like, I promise you, if you go to Miami with me, I'm going to show you a good time. And when he was in Houston, y'all, and when I went to Atlanta, like, we will always have a good time. So I knew that it wasn't Miami. Like, I knew that it was the people that I had went to Miami with back in college. That's why I didn't care for Miami. And I didn't care, y'all. I just don't like going to Miami. Like, anytime I go to Miami, it's literally because somebody's birthday there and I'm gonna show up for my friends, or it's a reason. Like, after college, I have not been back to Miami other than when it was my homegirl's birthday and me and her went. But I would never just pop up out of the blue and be like, yeah, let's go to the Yams, like, let's go to Miami. Like, that's just something that I'm not seeing. Some of the work trips that he would invite me on, he would literally be working like 10-hour shifts, and then I would have to wait till that weekend to hang out with him. So it was never worth going. But this time it was worth going because he was only going to be working 5 hours out the day, y'all. And I don't wake up until like 11, maybe 10 o'clock some days anyway. So half of his shift was gonna be done. He was gonna be back at the hotel by like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So it was perfect. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go to Miami. And he's like super stoked about this, y'all. Like, Lil Caesar just like, yay, like, finally, like, we gonna have a good time. He has this whole thing planned out for us in Miami. Like I said, he frequents Miami a lot, y'all. So he already knew all the spots. Miami is like his second home. So I want to say around this time, I'm trying to think how far in advance this was. I feel like it literally happened like this. It was like I was in Atlanta with him. A week later, he told me about the Miami trip. And then I feel like a few days after that, we were going to Miami. Like, I feel like his job, they don't give him a lot of time about, it's kind of hard to explain the job without, it's kind of hard to explain it to y'all without y'all knowing what his occupation is. All I'm gonna say is that he worked at the, well, he worked near airports, y'all. So I can't really explain it, but all I'm gonna say is he wouldn't get a lot of notice about these airports that needed additional what do you call it? I guess like work assignments. He wouldn't know about it in advance. He would know about it maybe 3 days, 4 days, but he didn't have a lot of time. So when he told me about it, he was asking me so he could put my name on, not put my name, but so he can get my flights and all my stuff. So I agreed. I said, yes, we're gonna go to Miami. Fast forward, y'all, we go to Miami. And like I said, I don't really care for Miami, but this time I had a time. When I say I had a time, I had a time. Because like I said, he would pick really nice places to stay at because his job was paying for all the expenses. He would rent really nice cars. He would, yo, the man knew all the spots. So day one in Miami, I think we literally just checked into the hotel. We got there like hella late. Like, it wasn't really a good flight. I think I left Houston like at 6 o'clock. I got to Miami like at 9 o'clock. So by the time we got there, we literally did dinner and that was it. Day two, we went out to like Nikki's Beach. Where else did we go? Not Nikki's Beach. We went to this beach club called Nikki's Beach. After that, we went to the mall. Like, we had a good old time. Every day I did something in Miami except one day, and this is the day when stuff started to pop off. So like I said, first day when we got there, it was on a Monday. We went to this little beach club, had drinks, went out at night. Second day, we were on South Beach, out at night. Third day, this was the day that we didn't really do anything because he kind of stayed over late at work. This day, I literally stayed in the hotel room the whole time and I ordered like room service, y'all. I was just in a hotel room watching TV, enjoying my day. That was literally my day. Fast forward when he finally did come off work, because for some reason, I don't know why, but this day he did not get off around like 1 or 2. He ended up staying at the airport like all day. He came maybe like, I want to say it probably was like 7 or 8-ish when he got to the room. So when he got back, y'all, the man was exhausted because he had been gone since like 6 a.m. So he got back, we ordered room service, and literally we were just at the hotel that day. And this is halfway through the trip. This is happened on a Wednesday, y'all. So I'm in bed with him. and he's eating, and out of nowhere he gets this call. He answers the call, and a woman is on the other line, and y'all, this woman is crying hysterically. Like, you could barely understand her. And the thing was, you would have thought he had his phone on speakerphone, y'all, because she was so loud, but you couldn't really hear what was going on. But I'm nosy, so I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. So mind you, he right beside me in bed right here. He answers the phone, and he's just like, hello, hello, and all you hear is like, that's all you hear on the other line. He's like, hello, calm down, calm down. We're gonna go ahead and give her a name. Let's go ahead and let's call her Tisa. So Tisa is hysterically crying on the other line. He's like, Tisa, what's going on? Calm down. Are you okay? What's going on? Calm down. And he's yelling, and it's crazy, y'all, because I had never heard this man raise his voice at this time. Like, if you meet him, he's a very chill, laid-back guy. Like, I had never heard his voice above like a 2, and this man was on 10. Like, calm down. Like, the whole bed was vibrating. Like, calm down. And she's just hysterically crying, and I'm just looking like, what's going on, and who is this? Because he leaves the bed and he goes to the bathroom and shut the bathroom door, and y'all, I follow because I'm nosy. I put my ear to the door because, like I said, the way this woman was crying on the other line, I'm thinking like, this is finally the day that he done got caught up. And I also want to mention, y'all, we had this little insider joke. I have this joke with every man that's over like 35. If you don't got no wife or you don't got no kids, I have this little insider that something is wrong with you. Like, what's wrong with you because you don't got no wife or no kids? So I used to always play with him and be like, did you put the kids away? Did you do it? Like, I would, you know, I would make little, it was our little insider. He didn't take offense to this at all, y'all. It would just be like, no, I don't have no kids. No, I never been married before. But I will always make little jokes with him and be like, is the kid asleep? Is the wife up? So I knew this wasn't the right time to joke about it, but the immaturity in me, y'all, I wanted to be so petty. Like, I wanted to be like, dang, your wife finally called. Like, what's, like, you know, I wanted to throw a joke, but I knew it wasn't the right time because, like I said, y'all, the woman on the phone was crying hysterically. So I was honestly really just concerned or whatever. So I go sit back down on the bed. I finish eating my food. Little Caesar's come out the bathroom like 30 minutes later, and he was just like, I don't know, y'all, he looked distraught. Like, he's literally shaking his head, and he feels so uncomfortable. And I don't know whether to ask, is it okay for me to be here, or are you good? Like what's going on or whatever. So he was just like, my sister's house got broken into, Tisa's house got robbed. Like, it got broken into tonight. And also, let me backtrack a little bit. As he was coming out the bathroom, I did hear him tell her, I can hear him, but obviously I couldn't hear what she was saying on the other end, because like I said, y'all, the man's voice was on 10. He was telling her to call the police, call the police. So before he came out the bathroom, I knew something was up, but I didn't know who it was up with and what was going on. At this point, y'all, I had told you I had already known the man for a year, so I did indeed know that he had a sister. I know that he has a brother. I know I have a little insight about his family, but no, I did not know his sister's name. But for the sake of this story time, we're gonna call the sister. Did I say Tisa? Yeah, Tisa. So he's like, my sister's house got broken into, and she thinks it's by somebody that she knows because her alarm system was disabled, and like they broke everything. And he's basically going in detail saying like some of the stuff they stole. He said that they stole all of her bags, they stole her second car shoes, they stole stuff from her safe. Like, this was obviously somebody that she knew. And he kept saying that the police is on their way over there. Like, she called him before she called the police or whatever, because that's her brother. And he's basically, the man can't even talk. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, he was very concerned about his sister, and I'm just like, wow. Like, I'm just gonna pray for her. And I'm asking him, like, does she have insurance? And he's just like, yeah, she has insurance, she has an alarm system. So I'm really concerned because this is obviously somebody that she knows, because the alarm system was disabled, and they didn't break any glass. Like, they broke stuff in the apartment, but they got in, was it an apartment? I don't know if it was an apartment or a townhouse, y'all. I honestly do not recall, but he was just saying that the person that broke into the place, it had to be somebody that she knew, because it was things that was taken that wasn't out on display. Like, she's not the person to have her things out on display. Like, she said the person that sold the stuff, they had to have been in her home before to even know where stuff was at. And literally she said that she had just got home when it happened because she can just tell how stuff was set up or whatever. So he's going in detail telling me that. And for the rest of the night, I'm kind of like real quiet and I don't know how to handle it. Like in awkward situations like that where someone has passed away, somebody has just been robbed, like I don't really know how to handle those type of situations, y'all. So I'm literally just on the side of the bed and I'm just trying to, you know, console him. And I'm just like to him, I'm praying everything's gonna be okay. I'm asking him questions about the situation, and obviously his sister just now told him everything that's going on, so he don't really know. So he's telling me like, I don't know, because I'm like, who could it be? Like, who could it possibly be? Like, is it her? Mind you, keep in mind, let me mention this. Tisa was also married, so I was asking her, y'all know how stuff get messy in Atlanta, so I'm asking her like, could it possibly be somebody that he know? Who could it possibly be? But he's just like, I don't know, like my sister's like me, she's very low key, she don't keep up with drama, like I don't know who this could have possibly been. She calls his phone back, they talk periodically through the night, y'all, and when they talk, every time he's talking to her, he makes sure that he leaves the area. I don't want to say he's leaving the room, but it kind of feels like he's leaving the room because I can't really hear what's going on, and there's like a long hallway to go into the bathroom of this hotel, so it kind of feels like he's like leaving the area every time his sister's call. So I don't really know what's being said. So I end up going to bed, wake up in the morning, he goes to work. That day, like I said, during the daytime, y'all, or during the morning, I'm pretty much on my own. I go to the beach, I go get me something to eat, and I pretty much go back to the room. Like it was a very chill Miami trip. Before we left, we did go out to the club and we had a good time, but the second half of the trip, the vibe was just thrown off just a little bit because he was very concerned about his sister, and as he should, y'all, that's his sister, and her house just got robbed. So he would call her every once in a while, like to check in to make sure she good. Also, I'm asking him like, is everything good? What's going on or whatever? He's just like, yeah, she's good. She has insurance, like everything, like they good or whatever. And it's okay anyway, because he also said that she was in the process of renovating her house. So the stuff that they broke, it didn't matter because she was gonna get that stuff taken down because she was doing renovations to her house. Keep that in mind also, y'all. Fast forward to Friday, his work assignment was literally a Friday to a Saturday. He does not work on weekends. I was supposed to fly back to Houston, but he asked me if I wanted to go back to Atlanta with him. And at this time, y'all, I didn't have no job. I had a very flexible schedule. So I was just like, yeah, like, why not? Let me just go ahead and go to Atlanta, and I'll fly back to Houston from Atlanta on a, what was that, Sunday. I ended up coming back home. So it was just gonna be a little 2-day trip in Atlanta. And I told y'all previously, a few weeks before that, I had stayed at his place when I was in Atlanta for my aunt's funeral. So we was locked in, y'all. I was very comfortable with him. His place ain't had no roaches. Like, we good. Like, I know I'll be safe if I stay at your house. And also I have friends and family in Atlanta, so I wasn't really worried when I was with Little Caesars. Fast forward, he changes my flight. We leave Miami and we go back to Atlanta. When we go to Atlanta, he's a person that likes to be outside, y'all. So as soon as we touch down, he takes me to his favorite bar. From the airport to the bar, we didn't stop by to put no bags away or anything. We literally went to the bar, y'all. That's the type of person Little Caesars was. He was a casual, I don't want to say casual, let's say he was a moderate drinker. He would drink a lot, and he was older, but this man liked to have a good time. He'd be outside a lot, and that's probably why he don't got no wife, but that's neither here or there. But anyway, we at this bar, and you know, we just drinking it up, having a good old time. Fast forward, while I'm out there, I text my homegirl, because like I said, I do have friends that live in Atlanta. So I let them know like, hey y'all, I'm in Atlanta for the weekend. If you want to link, or if you available, then we can link. And at this time, my friend had just had a newborn baby. I want to say her baby probably was like a month old. So I'm asking her like, if you need help, I'll come by the her house at the time. So she's just like, oh, I'm good. I have a nanny. They're here, blah, blah, blah. I'm good. But if you have time, I don't mind you coming by to see me or whatever. So that's that. Fast forward to later on that night. I'm at the apartment with him and just having a normal night, y'all. We watch TV, fall asleep. I wake up in the morning. Little Caesars is not there. I call him. He said he got up to, you know, run some errands or whatever. And fast forward to, I want to say, it was like mad early, y'all. When I'm at other people's house, I don't know what it is. When I'm out the country and when I'm at other people's house, I don't know why, y'all, but I wake up at 6 a.m. But when I'm at my own house, I just can't get up. But when I'm at other people's house, I wake up early. So I woke up like mad early. I think I probably woke up at like 6, 7 a.m. Call him. He told me he was out running errands and he would be back with food or whatever. Fast forward, I'm in his bed and I'm just literally scrolling on my phone, and I want to say, I don't know why, y'all, but when I first hear a knock at the door, I'm not really thinking that it's his door, because you know how you hear a knock at the door, but it's like, is that my door? Like, I was questioning if it was his door or if it was a neighbor's door. But nonetheless, y'all, it ended up being his door. But the knock had been going on at the door for a good 5 minutes. Like, literally, I'm on Facebook on my phone and I hear a knock, and I'm like, I'm still scrolling, and then I hear it again, and a whole 5 minutes done went by, and I finally get up and I go look through the peephole, and there is somebody at the door. But like I said, this is not my house. So the first thing I do is I call Little Caesars, and I'm like, hey, there's a woman at your door. Are you expecting anybody here or whatever? And y'all, I go to the bathroom, deep bathroom, to the closet, shut the door before I say this, because I don't know who this woman is. And like I said, we always had this little insider joke. Not saying I knew the man was not married or he did not have kids, y'all, but that was just our joke. Like, I would just be like, you put the kids to sleep, your wife going for the weekend? Like, we would play like that. So I go into the deepest closet, shut the door. Are you expecting anybody? Like, it's a woman at the door and this how she look. Like, are you expecting anybody over here? And he was just like, no, let me call my mom or let me call my sister to see if they stop by, but no, I'm not expecting anybody. Clicks, hangs up. He calls back a minute later, and he was just like, oh, you can go ahead and open the door. That's Tisa. That's my sister. I'll be on my way back to the house in a little bit. So I go open the door, and y'all, I'm not even gonna hold you. This man had me wanting to jump off a bridge, because I'm not a timid, like, I'm not a very shy person, but I could be shy around people I do not know. Like, I don't really know how to explain it, because I'm not shy, but I have my moments where I can be shy if you put me in an awkward situation. So this was real awkward to me. Instead of opening the door, I wanted to just jump off his balcony, because why is she here? Like, I wasn't expecting to meet any of your family. Excuse me. And mind you, by this time, it's probably like 8 a.m. I ain't brushed my teeth. Hair look crazy. Don't got no clothes on. Like, I'm not prepared to meet anybody's family. But of course, I go fix myself up in like 32 seconds, and I answer the door, and I'm like, hey, Asia, not me almost saying this man's name, but I'm like, hey, Asia, Little Caesars is on his way back. Like, how you doing or whatever. So when I opened the door, y'all, the girl, you would have thought she was his baby mama the way she mugged me. She was like, you didn't hear the door? You didn't hear the door? I'm like, I did, but I didn't, because I thought somebody was knocking at the neighbor's door. And she was like, oh, that's okay. And she got real comfortable, y'all. She sat on the couch. She put food in the fridge, or I don't know what it was. It was just something in a plastic bag, y'all. She put that in the fridge, sat on the couch, and she was like, who are you? You, I don't know why I keep wanting to say this man's name. But she's like, who are you? Are you Little Caesar's girl? You his girlfriend? And I'm like, no, I'm not his girl. We just friends. And she started asking me all of these questions, y'all. And I don't know. I'm the type of person that's an open book. Like, if you talk to me and you have that energy, I will tell you all my business down to my social security number. Like, I'm very much an open book. But if your vibe is just giving, I don't know, y'all. Her vibe was just not giving good energy. It was just giving like very standoffish, but she also wanted to like know my business. Like, she's asking me like, oh, how I met him. So I'm giving her the rundown, like, oh, I met him at a lounge back in Houston a year ago, and we've been kicking it ever since. Like, I'm just giving her the rundown, and she's just like, oh, telling me about her situation. She's talking about the situation with her house getting broken into, and I'm just like, yeah, Little Caesars told me, I'm so sorry about that. And I'm trying to, like, homegirl her, like, girl, like, you don't know who it is. Like, I'm trying to hit her with the, like, I know her, but y'all, the lady gets real quiet. It's like when somebody trying to find out your business and you don't know them like that, and you just look like So she's sitting on the couch, and I'm like, you don't know who it is, when she starts bringing up a situation where her house getting broken into. And she's just like, And this is dead how she looking at me, y'all. She looks and she's like, and she goes back to just like looking at the TV or whatever. So I'm like, it's weird how you was just trying to find out where I work at, how I met him, what I do, all my business. And then I'm asking you, do you have any idea who broke into your home? And you get real quiet and look at me sideways. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, y'all. I'm kind of like, all right, it's getting a little awkward. So let me just not talk into this man get here, because first of all, it's awkward. I want to go in the room, but that's kind of rude. And then second of all, it's awkward and I want to go in the room because I didn't know you were coming. So I have my phone in my hand and I'm like literally not looking anywhere. She's sitting on the couch beside me and my phone is like, head is just in my phone, and all of a sudden she's just like, are you hungry? You didn't eat? And I'm like, oh no, I didn't eat. Mind you, y'all, it's only like 8 something in the morning. Back home, I typically don't wake up until 10 o'clock anyway. So I'm good, I'm fine or whatever. And she was just like, I'm hungry. And she calls, I don't know why I keep wanting to say this man's name, but she calls Little Caesar and she just like, hey, I'm hungry. You don't got nothing to eat in here? And he was like, well, I don't know what he's saying, y'all. I'm just predicting this is what he said based on how she responded. He basically told her that he's on his way back and he got us something to eat. And I'm sure he asked her, did she want anything? And she's just like, yeah, you can go get me something from blah, 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 blah. And then I'm assuming, y'all, he gets the food for her. Y'all, my camera died, but I'm back. So where was I? Okay, so Little Caesars, he comes back with the food, and this is when I found out that he went to go get her food and he has our food. And I go to the kitchen and I sit at the bar and I start eating my little chicken and waffles, and she's sitting on the couch and he hands her the food. She comes to the kitchen, y'all, with her bag of food, and she walks in his room and she's like, come here. Come here. And I look back because I thought she was talking to me, but she was talking to Little Caesars. So he goes in the room with her. Mind you, y'all, this man's apartment is probably no bigger than my thumb. Like, it's, let's say, it's probably, I want to say max 800 square foot. Like, it's not a super big apartment. It's a really small apartment, y'all. But she closes the door and she's like, you know her like that? Why you left her in your apartment? Mind you, y'all, I can tell that she's trying to whisper because the voice is heavy. It's like, why you left her here? But I can hear you. So she's whispering and she's like, why you left her in your apartment? And he busts out laughing because you're comical. Like, why wouldn't he leave me in his apartment or whatever? And I'm thinking like, all right, maybe she's just, I'm not, at this time, I'm not taking offense to it, y'all, because she just got her place robbed. So she's probably just concerned looking out for her brother or whatever. So I hear him laughing or whatever, and she was just like, I'm for real, why you left her in your apartment? And she started speaking in her normal tone voice. She was like, yeah, shit crazy around here. Why did you leave her in your apartment? How long you known her? Like, where she came from? Like, you never told me that you had a girlfriend. Basically questioning him, y'all. And I'm just starting to think, like, did he just tell me that it's his sister and it's really his baby mama that he forgot to mention? Like, who is this woman to be questioning him like this? So she is like hard down pressing him about who I am, y'all. And it's comical because I can hear you, but she's whispering, and she think because there's a piece of wood between me and her that I'm not gonna be able to hear her in this small apartment. So she keeps like pressing him, like, where you know her from? Like, don't trust nobody in your apartment. You know, I was knocking on the door for a while. She ain't answered. I was knocking, what she was doing in here, blah, blah, blah. The lady is going on about me. But like I said, y'all, I'm thinking it's comical because like, I've been in his apartment before. Nothing ever came up missing. I understand you may have a little PTSD about your situation, but baby, this is not that. So I continue to eat my breakfast. I'm eating my chicken and waffles. He comes out the room first, and then she follows him, and then she eats her food, and then she goes back to like question me about how did I meet him. Mind you, my answer never changed. I felt like Tisa was trying to interrogate me, y'all, because I have said multiple times I met him at a lounge and we bonded over chicken wings. Like, what more do you want me to say? Like, the answer is not gonna change. I say that, and she's like, you know, he used to be vegan, right? He used to be vegan a few years ago. And then I'm like, I almost was vegan too. After I watched What the Health? What's it called? What the Health? After I watched that, I almost went vegan. So we started talking about vegan and vegan food and getting into that or whatever as I'm eating chicken and waffles or whatever, and she's eating her little vegan food, and we're just chatting about that. And then out of nowhere, y'all, she's like, we'll be talking about something, and then she'll pop up again, and she's like, how old are you? You look young. So I tell her my age. At that time, I'm like, I'm 25. And she's like, 25? Dang. Like, how y'all meet again? She ain't say how y'all meet again, y'all, but she was basically hinting like, where y'all was at? Where y'all was at in Houston again? After I said that, but she kept being adamant, like saying that I look like a baby, like I look like mad young. And at the time, I don't really remember. Wait, how old was he? He's 9 years older than me, y'all. So she was like really looking like you can tell when someone's being judgmental, but they're being like passive about it. Like she started throwing little passive shots, like, dang, like what spot y'all was at again? Like where y'all was at? Like basically she keeps asking me questions, and then I'll answer, and then we'll get away from the topic, y'all, and I will go back to eating. And then he knew off rip that I was starting to get annoyed with homegirl. If you know me, y'all, I'm Pac-Man. All I do is talk. This is my mouth. I was not talking around her. My food was done and I was not talking. If Asia's not talking, something is wrong. So he already like peeps or whatever. So then I can hear them. They both talking to each other. And she's asking him, well, she's not really asking, y'all. She's basically telling him that she's gonna need to spend a few days at his place because she feels really unsafe at her place right now. And she mentioned somebody's name, but I don't recall the name that she mentioned. But basically she was hinting towards saying that that's the person that could have possibly broken into her house, because she hasn't called and, you know, called her after the situation happened, because I guess she posted it on social media somewhere, and that was the only friend that didn't call. So she was basically saying maybe that was the friend that had something to do with it. And he was just like, yeah, that's cool, you can definitely stay here. And the whole time while he's telling her this, I'm in my brain is literally screaming, wait, like where is she going to sleep? Because like I told you, y'all, he stayed in a 1-bedroom what was it? It was like a mid-rise in what is that area called? Peachtree, downtown Atlanta. I don't know, y'all, but y'all know them apartments be hella small in the city. So I'm like thinking, like where is she gonna sleep? On the island? Like where is homegirl gonna sleep at? But I'm not saying anything, y'all. I'm just listening or whatever, drinking the last of my drink. And she's just like, yeah, I just don't feel safe here, and I don't know what's going on, but it's okay. They was hating anyway. I'm about to get my place renovated. She's just talking about the renovations and saying what she want to do to her kitchen and her bathroom. And the whole time while they're talking, y'all, he had 2 sisters, but I'm really trying to remember if this was a sister that was married, because he told me that I really thought he said both of his sisters was married. So I'm thinking, like, where is her husband? Where, you know what I'm saying? Like, in hindsight, now I know that this is definitely the sister that was married. But at that time, y'all, I didn't know that this was the sister that was married. So I'm thinking hard. I'm trying to figure out, like, damn, this is the sister that went to TSU. Is this the sister that got married? I'm in there in his kitchen trying to figure out, is this the sister that got married? Because where the hell is your husband at? Like, where's your husband? Like, I'm hella confused, y'all. But nonetheless, they're in there talking for a little bit. I end up going back to his room. He comes to the room to check on me. He's like, you good? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. What's on the agenda for today? He was just like, nothing, like whatever you want to do. I already done ran my errands for the day. If you want to go out, we can do that. Like whatever you want to do. Like I told you, y'all, this man, he doesn't like being in the house. He likes being out and about. So he was basically saying, if I wanted to go out anywhere, we can do that or whatever. So I get ready, I come out the room, and it's like an hour, 2 hours later. I didn't think Tisa was still at the apartment, y'all, just simply because it was so quiet in the living room. We were both in his room. He was in his room as well. But I come out and I wait by the bar or whatever, and she's there, and he was like, oh, my sister's gonna come with us. And I'm just like, where are we going? And he pulls up this little what is that called? It's a park. I can't think of the name of the park, y'all, but it's just a park in Atlanta that people go when they have little setups and stuff. So he said we were going there, and we needed to wait for his sister to get ready. And by the time I came back out to the living room, y'all, it had looked like Tisa had already moved into his place, because all of her bags were there. So she already came to his apartment unannounced to stay there without even telling him. Because like I said, she didn't ask him if she can stay there. She just told him, like, hey, I'm gonna need to stay here for a few days because I feel hella uncomfortable and unsafe at my apartment, which is fair. I did not have a problem with that, I just wish, you know, I would have had a little heads up, because if I would have known that, baby, I could have been back on the next flight to Houston, because your sister is just weird. Like, her energy is off to me. So I'm in the living room, and she goes in the room now because she's occupying the bathroom. Like I said, y'all, it was a really small apartment. He had one bathroom, one kitchen, one living room, one everything. It wasn't a big apartment. So while I'm in the living room, I'm like, dang, like, that is like so messed up, because I didn't feel comfortable about talking about her situation in front of her. So I'm telling him, like, dang, that's crazy that she's in this situation. That, one, I guess they damaged some things at the place. Two, she does not feel safe. And three, obviously something is going on with the husband. So you know how you like bait somebody to try to give you information? So I'm like, dang, that's crazy. And I'm bringing the situation up. And what you call it, I keep wanting to call this man name, y'all, but Little Caesars, he's just like, yeah, she's gonna be here for a little bit. Her husband is at my mom's house, and she's gonna be over here. And he's not really saying why. And I ain't wanna act like I was trying to be in her business, but I was definitely trying to be in her business. But he wouldn't tell me like why they were sleeping in separate places. I'm just gonna chop it up to they got in a disagreement or argument. But he did tell me that the husband was staying at her mom's, or was it his mom's? I don't remember, y'all. It was somebody's mom's, and she was staying at his place or whatever. And I'm like, okay, like, that's cool. I didn't even say anything because I didn't want to overstep any boundaries or whatever. But y'all, I was wondering where she was sleeping, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, of course she's just sleeping in the living room. Like, it popped up in the back of my mind, but then at the same time, I'm just like, Asia, of course she's sleeping in the living room. Like, 1 + 1 is 2, and where she's sleeping is the couch. Like, duh. So she gets ready. We go to the park. When we go to the park, she sits in the back seat, I sit in the front seat. While we're there in the car, we're talking a little bit, like, we're doing a little bit of small talk, but she wasn't talking to me too much, which is fine, y'all, because like I said, I do not know the woman like that. Fast forward, we get to the park. We're at the park. They have like little ice cream shops and stuff. I get some ice cream, and we just sitting down, and we're all talking. And as in all, I mean by just Little Caesar and his sister. Like, I'm not in the conversation at all. But like I said, y'all, it was still fine, because she was going through whatever she was going through the whole time. When she was talking to him, she was mainly just kind of venting to him or whatever. Fast forward, after that, she goes back to his place. She gets her car, and then later, Tisa rode in the car with us to go to the park, but then she decided out of nowhere that she needed to leave abruptly. And then he called her an Uber back to his apartment, and he has one of those smart home features at his apartment, so he was able to open the door for her through his phone. On that night, we end up going out, and my flight leaves tomorrow afternoon. So I didn't want to like go out to anything crazy. Like I said, this man loves going out to the spots, and I was just in Miami with him. So at this point, y'all, I was tired. I was missing my bed anyway, so I was kind of ready to go home. But nonetheless, we went out that night to a lounge, got back to the spot at like 2 a.m. When we got back to the spot, y'all, you're not gonna believe what Tisa was at. Tisa wasn't on the couch. Tisa wasn't in the kitchen. Tisa wasn't in the bathroom. Tisa was knocked out in this man's bed. In this man's bed, knocked out sleep. So when I come in the house, I'm like, where's she at? Like, I'm looking like, where's she at? He's looking like, where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? And the woman is in his bed, y'all. She is in his bed. So I'm like, all right, cool. I guess I'll just sleep on the couch tonight. But he was just like, no, if you want, I can look to see if I can get you a room. I can get you a room real quick or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's cool. Like, there's no reason to even do all of that. I was tired. Mind you, y'all, we were out from earlier that day since we left the park. After we left the park, we went to get something to eat. And then we stayed there for a few hours. And then we went out to a lounge. So it's like 2 a.m. in the morning. I had yet to go back to the house. So I was tired. I was ready to go to bed. I could have slept on his doorstep at that point. Your girl was tired, so I didn't really see a big deal. Like, I seen that she was in the bed. I didn't even, don't judge me, y'all, but it was that type of sleepy where all you could do is pee and go to bed. So I went to the bathroom, and I literally went to sleep on the couch. I went to bed, y'all. As for when we wake up in the morning, she's there, and I literally don't do it, because I don't know if I was wrong at this part, but I don't think I was wrong because it wasn't intentional, y'all. But when I went to sleep on some of her bags. I didn't move her stuff onto the floor, like, because she had, like I told you, it looked like the girl had moved in or whatever. She had bags and stuff on the couch. I probably moved some of the bags, but I did not move all of the bags. Like, I slept on one of her bags. So when I woke up, she was like in the living room, and she actually woke me up because she was like moving bags and moving stuff around, and she had an attitude, like it was no good morning. Like, she was just like moving aggressively, like just moving her bags and stuff around or whatever. So y'all, that is literally her. Like, she wanted me to hear the ruffling of the bags. Like, she's picking up all the bags hella aggressive, and she's taking them to his room. And I'm just like, all right, this is my cue to go. My flight, I think it was like maybe 8-9 o'clock. My flight departed at like 12:30ish, a little afternoon, y'all. But I was just like, I'm finna go ahead and take a shower and just Uber to the airport, because I don't got time for this. I can already tell it was gonna be something, y'all, because like I said, homegirl ain't say good morning, she ain't say nothing, and you can just feel like the energy, the air was thick, like she was moving funny. So I went ahead and took a shower, and I told him I was finna go. And of course he was just like, no, let me take you to the airport, blah, blah, blah. Let's go get breakfast before I said, let me just take you to the airport, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, nah, I'm good, because I personally feel like you allowed your sister to disrespect me while I was there. Y'all can let me know if I was tripping, because obviously, well, it don't matter either way. Me and after the situation, we definitely moved past the situation. But at the time, I was just like, you're allowing her to be like hella disrespectful, because the whole time when she was moving the bags all aggressive, he had like a little office area in his living room. Like I told y'all, it was giving studio apartment, to be honest, y'all. Like, his computer, it was like you walk in, this is the front door, this is the kitchen. He had a little desk area set up right here, and this is the living room. And it's like, you can hear she's heavily breathing, moving the bags. Like, you ain't asking her like what's going on, like what's good. You just see her moving shit while I'm there. Like, you're not seeing anything. So that's my cue to go, because if something pop off, I don't think you finna have my back. So let me go ahead and go. And I don't want to go to jail in another county. That's my worst nightmare, going to jail in somebody else's county. So he's just like, no, like, I'm good. Like, my sister, she was just like moving like that because she just felt like a lot was going on where her place got broken into, and she ain't never met you before, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just giving like, is it your sister or your baby mama? Because she is moving like, y'all, the girl was moving as if I was about to steal her bags. Like, her stuff had got stolen from her spot, and she act like I was finna take one of her bags to the airport with me. That's how she was moving. But obviously, we got in our little discrepancy, me and him, and we took me to the airport, but we were good after that. But yeah, that was pretty much the story time on how I came encounter with a sister's boy. Like, y'all, that lady was too dependent on him. Like, I don't think it's anything wrong with your brother buying you something to eat or you sleeping in your brother's bed, but when you see your brother has company over, boundaries, sister, boundaries. And then she was just so concerned. And after that situation, when I look back on it now, I'm kind of thinking maybe he had something going on, and maybe she knew the girl that he had something going on to, and she could have been maybe reporting to that girl to get information. I don't know, because y'all know people be messy. I don't really know. After that, me and him did not fall out because of her. Like, we just slowly like drifted away. Or even, I'm not gonna hold you, he still be calling my phone, but like I said, I don't communicate with people like that, because it was something that he did messy, and it was like long after that situation. It didn't have anything to do with his sister, because like I said, y'all, the sister was just moving like hella weird. But yeah, y'all can let me know what y'all think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Mwah.